Well, we're back.
We are. Here, I didn't expect the show to happen. It's the weekend. We both seemed in a zone of busyness. Like, I saw you this morning and we were kind of like, I got a lot to do. All right, see you around 5. What time is it?
It's 5:05.
Holy mackerel. That's pretty good timing without even trying. You just whipped us up some drinks and we're going to have a show.
Just like that.
Pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited.
I'm actually excited too because I really had no intention of doing much. I think mentally yesterday we had a fun brunch and maybe Tide went on a little early and we're not as young as we used to be. So then there was no evening because we were so exhausted. And so today, I was like, I'm going to just kind of keep it low key. Like I have a bunch of stuff I need to do. But then once I finished doing what I needed to do, it was like I had that second wind and I wanted also to be rewarded for the work. I just did 4 hours of work. And so it seemed only fitting that I make a brand new beverage that we've never ever had before. And and then we can just do this show and chit chat and scallywat and all those good things.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Happy day.
Wow. I really like that. It went down like if I was a 7-year-old kid who wasn't allowed to drink orange soda, there better be orange in it. I see an orange in it, so it's got to have some orange in it. But then was allowed to drink an orange soda, and it was everything I wanted and more.
Yeah.
What are we drinking?
Wow. It's delicious.
You sound surprised.
No, I'm more like, it's delicious. I did it.
Oh, okay.
It was inspired by, shout out to Bridie, my girl who hooked me up.
Friday.
My girl Friday, a.k.a. Bridie. She hooked me up with a bottle of what's called Flowers Bitters.
Hi, Little.
The cat's excited about it.
Little says hi.
And, if you want to pick him up, he's going to be chatty.
You're in the middle of something, so you continue while I get Little.
Okay. So it's, so they're called Flowers Bitters, and it's by a company called, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Venas, Venas.
There, your Venus.
Venus. And it's chamomile and jasmine bitters, which I tried on its own, and I was, trying bitters on its own in and of itself is a journey. So I was like, well, let's see how we go. So that's the star with Hendricks, Aperol, a little bit of lime juice, and half of a fresh squeezed organic orange.
What are we calling this delicious drink?
I think it's like a sunshine daydream. I don't know, or shot of vitamin C.
I really love Sunshine Daydream. Was that the first thing that came to your mind?
Yeah, Sunshine Daydream.
The Sunshine Daydream or just Sunshine Daydream?
Okay.
We'll put the recipe up on the website and here. Okay.
So I'm going to take another sip. I'm really excited about it. I think because also I really am enjoying the orange flavor of it. Like I don't typically have that a lot in drinks. So if there is orange, like with Aperol or with Campari or something, there's a lot more other herbs and things that are happening. So you don't get to see so much of that orange flavor. But this has a really nice bright flavor.
You get to see it and taste it. Mm-hmm. It's very orange forward.
That goes down super easy.
Mm. And I just got to backtrack just a second. Because you said, we tied one on. What's funny is, for us older folk, tying one on is having a glass of champagne with breakfast. Like, that was essentially what we had. A glass of champagne.
Yeah.
And it wiped us out for the day.
Well, I did give us a little topper.
Oh, maybe I missed that part.
Oh, and then, we did try to do a show, and I did make some sort of digestive. I couldn't drink it. I took 2 sips, and I was like, I will be in for it if I drink any more.
All right, so maybe we did a little bit more drinking than one glass of champagne, and I didn't realize
you drank more of that digestive, the aperitivo, than I did.
Well, how to digest. So, we have a topic for the show. It's been circling around. As you said, we tried to do a show yesterday. Little low energy yesterday. So Friday, Saturday, whatever day it was. I was tired.
Yeah.
And now here we are. And the topic of today's show is, you already know, because it's the title of the podcast, Riding the Wave.
Woo!
Riding the wave. So in life, there are waves that come. They come in the way of maybe emotions, energies, signs, dreams. Sometimes they're not welcome. It's these energies that try and take you in a new direction in life. Sometimes they take you in a new direction. And you're like, no. Sometimes they present themselves as, hey, you want to take me? You want to jump in? And you have to decide, like, do I take this wave? Do I not take this wave? Am I afraid? And you don't have, with a wave, if you've ever been to the ocean, you don't have a lot of time to decide. You kind of negotiate it. You decide if you're going to take it or not. If you think about it too long, the wave may pass. So this is about riding waves. And where do you want to go from here?
Well, there's also the wave, too, of you're putting it out there that you may want to ride a wave. And then when the wave comes, then you can kind of assess, like, all right, is this the right wave for me? Is this the wave I want to hop on and ride? Or,
well, that's the best wave if you ask for something.
Well, yeah, that is the best wave.
That is the best wave. Right?
The unexpected wave is a little scary. I mean, do you have an example of an unexpected wave?
Yes, I do. Oh. I have one.
Of course you do.
It comes to mind. Now, I was thinking about this the other day. I guess I think about a lot of things. For somebody who claims to have a relatively still mind, I yet still think about a lot of things. Anyway, I want to say I was like 29, working at a university. And I was essentially a secretary. Or administrative assistant, if secretary is offensive for some reason.
Okay.
Because I'm a late bloomer. I come late on a lot of things. Come late to the table in life on a lot of things, which is, I'm totally comfortable with it. Especially once you arrive in life or feel like you arrived somewhere, you can look back, hopefully, and laugh at everything else. So that I was a secretary, administrative assistant at 29 was actually fine with me. It was my first steady job where I didn't hate my life, and I was making enough money to pay the bills and pay off my student loans and pay my car payment. So it was all good. Comfortable in a union. And I knew a few people in the university, and they knew I had a few computer skills. And this job came up where they were like, hey, you want this job? It was like presented to me. And it was a manager's, a director's position, doing computers. And so it was this wave that came up because while I'm thinking about it, next thing I know, I'm in an interview, maybe that afternoon or something. Like it was just, this wave came up and it was in front of me. And I was like, what? And I was scared. I'll be honest. I was scared. The people in the union were like, you're in the union. If you take this, you'll be outside the union. You know, you don't got to worry about anything now. And that was true. And it seemed like a big jump. I was very comfortable in the job I was at. I didn't know. And I decided to jump in. I decided to take it. And it turned out fine. I think most of the rewarding stuff in life has a lot of...
Well, I mean, there's also that point too where, can you feel it in your gut? Like it's that healthy fear. Like there's...
That's a very good point. You could say my heart and my gut were saying like, take it.
Yeah.
Like, you always love computers. Take it. And my brain was probably like,
I'm comfortable. Don't do it. Like,
does not compute.
This is new. Right.
I'd have to say most of my brain didn't want me to take it, but my gut and my heart wanted me to take it. But it's weird that as even there was a lot of fear in there, but I took it. So I rode that wave, and I didn't ask for that wave.
Right.
That's a wave where it just came in, and I was like, probably at the last second, I was like, I think at one point I was saying no, and I even told somebody who was involved in the interview, nah, I don't think I'm going to take it. So I was like 1 foot out. But then like at the last possible second, I want it. And I jumped into the wave and I caught it just in time.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and I feel like I held that position for like 4 years and loved it. So.
And then you met me. And
are you another wave?
I think I'm a wave. I think I was a wave for you and you were a wave for me because you were completely unexpected. And as soon as I met you, like I just knew, like I just felt it. Like my stomach actually literally dropped. Like I felt that when I saw you. And not to be all cheesy, but that I kind of just like, I was all in just because like, I mean, it felt like woo, but you just, when you know, and that's it. So I was happy about that.
That was nice. You knew upon meeting. I think as soon as we started talking to each other, I knew because we were like, blah, 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 and haven't stopped since then. And that's why it was show. We don't shut up. So.
And we're still gabbing.
We're still gabbing away. Little's very happy, by the way, purring away. He chilled out. If your animals are meowing or barking or whatever your animals are doing, they're just trying to communicate. They might just be saying, hey. They might just be saying, lift me up. I want to be with you. And that's what Little was saying. Meow, meow, meow was lift me up. I want on someone's lap.
That's what he says pretty much all the time.
So, what brings us to the wave today? I want to point out, you tell your own stories, but I feel like there was a point in your life, I don't know if we talked about it on another show, where you were seeking something different in your life and a wave approach, and you had to identify like, wait, this is a wave. Mm-hmm. And this wave has these qualities. And, you want to talk about your wave that you asked for kind of non-specifically? You were looking for a change in life?
Yeah, I left it open. I don't know. There was just something that I felt like I needed more in life. Like I didn't feel like I was fulfilling my purpose, but I also wasn't quite sure what that purpose was, but I knew there had to be something more than where I was at.
Yeah.
And so I left it open because I didn't want to dictate and say like, this is what I want it to be.
That's pretty...
Well, that's because, the universe just will laugh in your face if you say, well, this is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden, like, that's not happening. But something else is, and then it's better than you thought. So I'd rather be like, hey, give me the better than I thought it would be. So
that's a pretty advanced level. I find that I don't want to discount. There are some people who say, I'm going to do this, and they focus their might and they make it happen. But I like your style because I'm more of I want to go with the flow of what's natural. I want to go with the flow that's in my highest interest. Show me what that is.
Right.
And it sounds like what you did.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think for the people who know what it is and like go for it and like those doors keep opening and they're putting in the effort and the work, but it's all just seamless. Like
they're riding a wave and they don't even know it.
That's a wave too.
Yeah, that's a wave too. Yeah.
So, but I wasn't in that space. So I had to like open it up and be like, all right, what do we got? And so Ayurveda just kind of, I think, had been planting, like the universe was planting seeds of Ayurveda because I was listening to different podcasts and there were some episodes that talked about it. And I was like, oh, piquing my interest. Like this sounds like I get it. Like I understand what they're talking about. Like, why does this make so much sense? And then I had seen a Vedic astrologer and I found my notes from that call and he said like I should be getting into Ayurveda. And
that blows my mind.
At the time I was like, what?
But,
like,
yeah, exactly. Those are the best.
How does that even happen? I don't even know what you're saying right now. That does not compute.
The foreshadowing of the universe, of asking and look. I love that when you can look back on something and like, oh, I asked and it was answered and didn't even recognize it when it was answered at first. It's like the swell of the wave. The wave's building. It's like 300 yards out. It's building.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It is cool. So then when, it just dawned on me like, no, like this has been continually being presented to me. I think I need to stop and like look at this a little bit more closely. And so that's when I started researching programs and schools, and we went to visit a few and decided on a college, and I said, okay, and, worked out my schedule, which was fantastic. Super grateful to my job for letting me do that.
Yeah, overworking a job.
Yeah. And so I just remember before, like, us even going out to California, because I'm studying at the California College of Ayurveda, and going out there and checking out the school, like even that had a sensation and a momentum behind it that was so foreign and like exhilarating. And
I'm glad you bring that up, because while you're talking, I'm thinking, was there fear involved, and what helped you to get over the fear? There had to be some fear involved, because anything big, life-changing has some fear. And you could talk about that. But I think what helps is you go through the steps anyway, and then all of a sudden you get some other welling up of like, this feels like when you went to the College of Ayurveda, the California, what is it?
The California College of Ayurveda?
When we went to the California College of Ayurveda.
Say that 3 times fast.
I can't do it. I don't know.
CCA. Call it CCA.
When we went to CCA together, whatever fear you may have been feeling and doing it anyway, I felt like when we were walking around the campus, maybe even when we showed up, there was some kind of feeling that met these other feelings we were having, like another wave met the wave and like helped, like, no, this is right. This is what you were supposed to be doing, and this is where you're supposed to be doing it.
100%. Because we went to, like, I don't remember, a different college first. And when we were walking around campus, I don't remember what it was called. And it was right. Like, and I even like met with a couple of students and, her, but it just, and we weren't feeling the town either. So when we got to Grass Valley, I mean, we loved it. Instantly. Loved it. And then when we walked into the school's like main building, it was an immediate, I'm here, I'm home.
Yeah,
this is where I'm supposed to be.
I felt it too for you.
It had that just cocoon, like nourishing, nurturing, fill me up with all the knowledge, energy that I wanted.
So that helps you to jump into that wave.
Yeah.
I think why I was excited to do this show is now, however many months or even years later.
It's been 2 years since that day.
Later, you're now at the point where you're finishing up
all the academics.
The portion, your academics, where it's allowing you to now start to see clients.
Yeah.
And you come from the business world, and you come from the world of this is what you do to the website and
all the marketing.
And you're putting all this brain power in. And why I was excited to do this episode is what I saw is while you're putting all this brain power in, you don't even realize this huge wave is coming up and pushing you. I don't think you realized it until I pointed it out to you. Like you thought, like, I'm just doing, and there's this wave again, another wave coming and pushing you into the practicing side of everything that you learned, the application side of everything you learned.
I'm totally in the middle of riding that wave. Like, I'm not even done riding the wave right now. And it's awesome. It's so, I will say it's a trip, because there were times when I felt like not grounded and really, really was riding the wave, and just was in it and like super excited and hepped up about it, and like constantly in doing mode. Like I was constantly just like doing whatever. I was in school for 2 weeks doing an immersion, but then, in my free time, I was, tweaking my website and doing like all of these things, and felt like I could have just kept going, but also knew like, all right, I need to step back. This isn't sustainable. So kind of balancing that too has been interesting.
I think you've been doing great at balancing, because for those of you Capricorns out there who like a sure, steady footing, you've been flying in the clouds a lot, but you just keep enough of a toe on the ground to keep you grounded.
Yeah.
Now, for those listeners out there, like you were putting a lot of mental energy into getting your business started, not realizing you also, a wave was swelling up and pushing you and making things happen for you. How can you help others to recognize, hey, maybe there's a wave for me that I'm not recognizing?
I think it's recognizing that you want there to be a wave. That's...
Yeah, but
what if you're sitting here like, well, I don't know what it is. Well, I didn't know either. But
no, but this portion of it, you were putting a lot of energy into it, a lot of mental energy to it. And there was a wave pushing you. And I pointed out to you, do you see the wave that's pushing you too? Mm-hmm. In addition to all the work you're putting in, almost saying like, you don't even have to put that much work in. Yeah, you have to do X, Y, and Z, but you don't got to sweat X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, you're right.
So how... me pointing that out to you, what were the signs within it that you could have saw like, oh yeah, like there is a wave here. Why don't I just chill out a little bit and ride this wave?
I feel like that's kind of a hard question because it, to me, is more of a feeling.
Okay. It's
so
a great
I don't
answer.
know if that's tangible,
And emotions,
but
if you feel, let's put it this way. If you feel emotions at all, emotions are feeling. That's the feeling. That's the same channel. The channel where you feel emotions, whether you feel it in your heart, your gut, or if you're cerebral and feel it in your mind or recognize them in your mind. So you recognize it somewhere within you. That's where you feel the wave.
Yeah. And I guess
Recognize
for
the
me,
wave.
I was feeling it like in my heart. And I think once you had a conversation with me and you're like, well, maybe, you can step it back a little. And I was like, yeah, like, cause a lot of, like my mantras and stuff like that or affirmations that I really like to kind of set for myself, recently have been faith over fear.
Oh,
and
I
just
like
knowing
that. Yeah.
I'm trusting myself and the universe. And I've also been talking to Archangel Michael and Lakshmi. So they're like, because I, thought I was going to have an office space and then that fell through. And like, when I found out it fell through, it was like a bummer for sure.
And it was one day before you were going to meet with your supervisor and you're like, what am I going to tell her? No, you didn't say it like that.
I didn't say it like that.
That's me putting that on you. Careful.
Yeah.
Careful. Don't point the fingers. You said in a relaxed way. I was just like, wow, this sucks, but like, what can I do? And like, I, just kind of creatively coming up with solutions and, getting comfortable with the idea of maybe having an office in the house. But I just was like, I'm just going to put it out there on Facebook. Like, anybody have any office spaces? The next morning, a friend says, I have a space. And I go to check it out and it's perfect. So, and the whole time I was exercising consciously, having faith and trust that whatever was going to play out for me was going to be it. Like, I really placed my faith and trust in that. And that was what I've been asking to do and to want to cultivate within myself more. So, and then here it was presenting itself in action. And like, I rose to the occasion and then I was rewarded for it. So riding the wave, feeling the feelings, and just, surrendering. You get further. Yeah, think about it. If you ever rode a wave in an ocean, not that anybody needs me to, you could tell me if you don't want me to break things down, but I'm just to reiterate. It's like I picture myself, let me speak personally. I picture myself in a wave in an ocean. What can you do with a wave in the ocean? Nothing. You have to you can either ride it, try and get past it, or you get wiped out by it. Those are kind of the three options. I've always liked to ride them. I give you a lot of credit because, again, being a more grounded person, it does take faith to ride a wave that's going to lift you off the ground and push you forward. Yeah. And that's what it's done. So I give you a lot of credit. Cheers. Cheers to you. Cheers. For real. Thanks. So where are you at with your wave journey right now? At the beginning of the year, I started with the intention of I'm just going to ride every wave. I'm just going to not really plan too much at all and just go with the flows. And if I don't think about it, and I just ride those waves, I'm having a blast. But if I start to think like, oh, I should. You know what? If I'm really that far off base, you or one of my friends will say, hey, and like wave up their hands. Nobody's waving up their hands. So if I remove all judgment or thinking what I should be doing, and I'm just riding all these waves, I'm having such a great year.
Well, and then it just shows you're exactly where you should be.
Yeah, and I'm curious where it's going to take me too.
Well, and it's interesting because not all waves have to be like, they can have different shelf lives.
That's true. They can be a big giant wave that takes you hundreds of yards. It can be like a little baby one.
So you could be riding, these short-term ones, and then there could be one that comes up that's like a longer-term one. So it just really depends on, what's meant for you right now. So I like your approach. I think it's so present and healthy and just like keeps you in the moment.
It's very in the moment because since I'm not picking what I'm going to be doing, there has to be an energy that's pushing me into what I'm doing.
But I think it's probably setting you up because like you're doing all these smaller done next because I think the next one.
Hey, what's happening? What's going to happen?
I think your next wave is going to be renovating the laundry room. Like that's going to be a journey for you. And
is that you being psychic or you putting seeds in?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So I don't know. I hope this show was helpful in some way with riding waves. If maybe you didn't recognize that a wave is coming up for you and you heard this and you recognize, that's my hope. This is my hope for the show. Somebody hears this and they're like, oh my God, there is a wave coming up for me.
Yeah.
I could feel it. I've been dreaming about it. I haven't seen signs.
If you have any of those waves or thoughts or feelings or anything, like we would love to hear about them.
Yeah, I'd share it on a show.
Yeah.
Or
not. It doesn't have to be shared on a show if you want it to be private.
We'd still love to hear it.
But I would love to hear where other people are at because it's so important. There's something about verbalizing and owning and acknowledging those feelings because sometimes it's easy to just brush them under the rug and like keep it moving, but they come up for a reason. So
just saying,
where are yours? What are yours?
Yes.
We want to know.
Yes, we do. Speaking of looking for more listener engagement, shame on us. We have had two instances of listener engagement that we should. Well, see, we're still working on being professionals. We're amateur hour. We're trying. At the beginning of shows, we should acknowledge our people. In my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's a nice continuation. So, with that being said,
number one, I want to congratulate a winner from our last show. Our winner. She not only wrote in first. She's the only person who wrote in. And this, which is surprising to me, because my podcast host now has data, and there have been up to almost 10,000 listeners a show for a bunch of shows.
It's crazy.
So that nobody writes in. YouTube's new. The video's new. 9, 20, whatever people listen. But the audio listeners through the podcast hosts, it's been thousands of people and nobody writes in. Like, I don't want free prizes. So Kim from Connecticut.
What, you don't want a $10 Taco Bell gift
there
card?
Was $50 on the line this time.
Okay.
And there's going to be an even better gift worth $100 coming up. I'm doing a children's book with my friend Neely. She's a great magical, mystical, fantastical artist. And there's going to be a contest coming up when I start to push the book out and to promote the book where one of our lucky listeners, Kim from Connecticut, or someone else, is going to win $100 to purchase Neely's art. Maybe, I don't know if she'll be open to commissions. I'll talk to her about it. But that's coming up. So write in. It's worth your while. And Kim from Connecticut knew what a coupe glass was. And she wrote in right away, and she got a $50 gift card to Shea Bactello.
And if you're not familiar with Shea Bactello, that's our home because Kurt's the chef, Chef Becker, but I'm Vitello, and then we're Bechtello. And I like to play sous chef. I'm not a cook, but I do enjoy my mixology, also throwing in some suggestions, and then he makes it happen. So
that's the truth be told here.
So Kim's coming to Shea Bechtello. I can't say that is a prize that is open to everyone. Kim is a very special guest.
She picked I was very happy with her. Not because I say $50. Like that means they're coming.
Yeah.
So I like that.
What's better than that? Friends visiting. Okay. The second shout out that we want to give.
Yes.
And so I love that all of these are on my side of the table here, all of my awesome friends. So Jessica and Shannon, they voted on what song outro they liked better. And I was also in agreement with their pick. And so thank you so much that was on Instagram.
Yeah, if you want to hear my two choices, I like the one that everyone hates. And
yeah.
I like number 2 if you go on Instagram and look.
Yeah.
And everyone's picked number 1. What I want to do in future shows, I can't promise this because I got to look into it a little more, is I want to end future shows introducing like new artists out there. I feel like I get an ear for music. You'll judge it.
Here we go. Do they want to hear this?
Yes. You know what? The show's essentially over. If you don't want to hear this, it was nice having you. Have a lovely day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when
it's like, I've heard this story a million times.
You know what's great? You will be the judge of this. I think I have an ear for music.
He does.
Jen, what are you saying? I do? Are you being? I don't know if you're being sarcastic or real.
I don't know either. Keep going.
Well, you'll decide.
Keep it moving.
What I imagine in the future, new artists out there trying to get their music out. I'll just put their music at the end of the show. Put a short intro. Hey, here's blah 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 from blah blah, and they check them out. I probably don't think they have stuff available on iTunes. So if people like it, they go to the show notes, click buy, and then it's like a.
I think that's really nice. I like that.
But we'll see, and we'll vote if I have an ear for music or if Jen doesn't think I have an ear for. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm not doing
You're just
anything.
Scooching me. You're scooching me. You're not doing anything. You've been scooching so long, you don't even know when you're scooching.
I'm just being me.
You're scooching.
So with all of that to be said, Kurt has an ear for music, and we're going to feature new artists at the end of the episodes. And so stick around if that's what you're into. And thank you for sticking around even this long if you have. Thanks, Kim. All right. Signing off. This is Jen.
And Kurt. Till next time, everyone.
Take care.
Peace.
Namaste.